when Leslie and I returned back to the U.S. from England, and we went to Bear Creek, when the bishop called me up, he said, "Well, Earl, I'd like to appoint you as pastor of Bear Creek." And of course, as I told you, I was raised in a pretty, I was in the black church, which I love that experience. I mean, it was all the experience I had. But Bear Creek was a fast growing church. And first thing that I asked him, I said, "Well, is it safe? Bear Creek." So I, didn't have any idea. But when we first, experienced that, we went there. We were a blended family. I had 3 children. She had 2. We had wanted more kids, but for some reason we could not have it. And it took like maybe 5 years. But all of a sudden, Leslie at the age of 42 got pregnant with Letitia. And Advent for us, because Letitia was born on December the 30th, Advent for us at that time came to life. Because most of our kids were up in age and they were getting out of the house, and we were looking forward to having the house to ourselves, being able to be empty nesters. And all of a sudden, here's this new child coming into our lives, And the question at that time was, what do we need to do now to make room for this new addition to our lives? And it's got a lot of change. I didn't get my exercise room. Leslie didn't get her kind of playroom and things. We had to make that room into a baby room. We made some changes, adjustments within our lives. We did a lot of things differently. We even, once she was born and started going to school, we had to go back to those PTO meetings, and we had to put up with folks saying, "Oh, you brought your grandparents with you today," because we were a lot older than most of the families and so forth there. But I say that story because so many times that's the difference I think that Christ makes in our lives when we make room. When we can kind of put aside the clutter and the materialism and all of the stuff, that sometimes gains our pride, and even us, our own desires and so forth, and begin to make room for God in our lives. I think that's what Advent, at least means for me, and I would hope we don't lose sight of that.